we double clutch and release, beat it, and this was real key to this record being with its power, with everything it has. Because I said at the time, I need a song like My Sharon. But I mean, we need to do like a black version of just a strong rock and roll thing now that has the power that everything else he writes. And he says, I got something here, but I don't have any voices on it. So we sat out at outside of his studio in Havenhurst, and he went and put it on, right on the head. That's just what we needed, I think for a record to penetrate like this record did, you have to be go for the throat in 4, 5, or 6 different areas, incredible areas, where you do a rock and roll kind of a trip, you do your AC thing, dance stuff, R&B, soul, whatever you want to call it. And I decided to call Eddie Van Halen, and I didn't know him, to come play the solo and beat it. And I called, said, it's Quincy Jones. Bam! Cussed me out every time, because he thought somebody was stroking him, So I did it about 3 times, and then I think I called somebody else to tell him that I'm serious, And I called back finally, and he was very sweet, and everything else. So we connected, and Michael was in that one studio, I think, doing overdubs, vocal overdubs on Billie Jean, and I went to the other studio, a 3rd studio. And then he came in, he had his Gibsons, stacked his Gibsons all up there, and I kind of let him get set up and everything else. I said, no. So I'm not going to sit here trying to tell you what to play. The reason you're here is because what you do play. So let's try 3 or 4 takes. Some of it will be over-animated, some of it will be long lines and so forth. We'll sculpt it, okay? And that's what we did. And he played his ass off. And during that time, MTV had just come along, and they were playing rock and roll. They weren't supposed to be playing jazz artists. That wasn't their policy then, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. But the ironic part, Michael kind of defined what the videos were. Everybody's basically still doing the same thing. They got a line. I don't care who it is, Christina Aguilera, Madonna, everything else. They're doing the same thing Michael did. Same thing, line dances. Like they did in Busby Berkeley. And they defined, that I have to say at least Billie Jean between the video and Beat It with the West Side Story thing that Michael did, and Michael Peters. Thriller was a whole other thing because that became like a small movie, and it was a year and a half after the record came out, and it was like an event. But the newness of MTV and the video, they rode each other to glory. They really did, because people had never seen people do their things before. They heard them on the radio and maybe in a concert, but it's not the same thing. Sullivan was the only place you could get to that,